Ready when y'all are.
But first, you want to talk about what happened last game?
Oh wait, I'm not ready for that. Okay. So there was, and I will say that I took great notes when. Oh, maybe I did. We'll find that together, but I may have missed when Tab wasn't present, so we'll see. Even more than usual. So, we all took a long rest. Macklin woke up in a beautiful field, went for a walk, got slapped across the face. Turns out he was not in a beautiful field. Instead, he was at the top of a staircase about to throw himself down it, but Talia had intervened. So he shuffled back to bed and realized that he was missing his coin purse, which he had given to Tab earlier that day and never gotten back. Then Kiora woke up. She snuggled with Ilya. She said hi to Galdrick. And Alina was either arrived or was already there. Kiora declined needing help with her Zemnian and lied effectively to the small child. But Alina helped her
Thanks for
anyway.
that.
After after Kiora gave her a shiny green stone and a shiny shell and some other things from the Feywild. Alina also asked if Kiora had met Vader there, which I can't remember if that was surprising or not. And then they spent some time studying the Zemnian book together, with Alina correcting Kyora's pronunciation. V woke up, smelled the smell of coffee down to breakfast. Jazan also woke up, followed, I don't know, any number of things down to breakfast. And those two sat silently and drank coffee, cheerfully enjoying that there were not talkative people there to interrupt them. We were at the boarding house, our 4 hours of brooding, and then went down to the dining hall and found our old buddy Ghost there, reading reading a Marquesian paper. And Ghost was looking for a circus because she wants to murder some clowns. We offered to join the circus and help, which we were told isn't necessary at this particular moment in time, but we'll see. About that. So we read the book about magical tattoos, we ate donuts, we fed donuts to Sunbeam. It was nice. Macklin woke up. There was giggling. I don't know where that came from. I think I made a joke about there being the brownies having followers from the Feywild, but I'm pretty sure that wasn't actually it. Also not it was V and Jazan, who Macklin joined at breakfast. They agreed to hang out, they agreed to relax. Jazan in particular was not in a hurry to return to battle and die. Pure finished her reading, asked Ilya to teach her about how to take off and put on her armor real quick. Ilya said that was an item, not a spell, and offered to get Cure one, but I don't think has done so yet. Probably because she's only just woken up and hasn't had time to do so. But then they went down to breakfast. Alina, the dog, also went down to breakfast. Jazan said some super, super upsetting things about being able to hear people's eyes when they blink. That was
It made a
totally
swishy
fine.
sound, I recall. A swishy sound?
Yeah, it was awful. I'm glad
Fucking
I'm
brutal.
spending so much time talking about it. Then Alina, speaking of upsetting things, mentioned the Lich and the Fireball, and Jocelyn wanted to hear all about that, which is probably fine. We went to the Slayer's Cake. We found the Don there, drinking coffee, reading a paper. We bought some pastries. We got some coffee in an arcane go cup. We sat down with the Don and asked if he'd found the circus yet, which he had found mention of the circus. So we returned to the boarding house to share this information with Ghost, who had maybe already found it, but we still helped. We are confident that we helped. Ilya explained the Lich Fireball crossbow story, which Jocelyn did not find as reassuring as Alina seemed to think that he might. Oh no, Ilya explained that Alina had shot a Lich with a toy crossbow. Macklin then de-identified and retold the rest of the story. Kior walks in just as Jocelyn asked who had a wish, and Kior explained that bit of it a bit. Jocelyn then tried to convince us to come rejoin the party by trying to tell us that the party was leaving, but we didn't buy it. Macklin asked if Jocelyn's conversation with us went well, and Jocelyn said that it did go well and that he definitely did not share any secrets about himself. V could tell he was full of shit on that. Nobody else could, though. Good work, Jocelyn. I think V was still too busy drinking coffee to say anything about it. But the party really did want to get moving after visiting the alcove. Alina had a busy schedule ahead of her of turning in cursed items and fighting people at the Raven Queen Temple, which Cure didn't love. She would rather Alina have a independent instructor, but Alina was firm that she likes the paladins. So there was some talk of Alina's upbringing by her mothers in one space, and in another space, Macklin and V play fought with her in the breakfast room. Jocelyn drank tea like everything was normal, and then Macklin dueled with the child and won. So good work, Macklin. And then Cure had a very sweet conversation with Alina, the content of which I did not retain, other than I think there was a pinky promise to come back that I'm sure doesn't have any narrative weight or concern attached to it whatsoever. We was talking with Ghost, and did a doorbell ditch with a couple of bear claws, a muffin, and the coffee on the Manor Rex stoop. And yeah, the group was ready to get going. So everybody departed the manor. We snuck into Cleo's blind spot, although Sunbeam does not do a good job of sneaking and was visible. Alina has proper boots. Everybody heads to the alcove. We declared that we told Cure that we're joining the circus. And Macklin got his coin purse back so he can do shopping. The end.
Okay. As everyone heads to the alcove. I believe Tab and Cure were doing interesting things at the door, both avoiding and not avoiding each other.
Oh yeah, Cure had I think, stepped inside Mish and then put her back against the door, so there was no sneaky blind spot just behind her shoulder to hide in.
Yeah, right next to the door. She's leaning against the wall.
And we, knowing that the jig is up, waltzed in past her, stepped out of the blind spot, walked in past her, and said casually to no one in particular, we might join the circus, and then kept going.
Why the circus? Of all places.
Why not? It sounds... We're good at jumping and falling and tumbling, and people think we're funny.
Oh,
Why not
yes.
the circus?
Well, that's mostly because the ringleader skims the most off the top.
We don't mind.
I suppose you wouldn't.
We could be the ringleader.
I
We probably
suppose
won't
you
be,
could.
but we could.
That would involve talking to lots and lots of people. Are you up for the task?
We don't think that has to. Sometimes clowns don't talk to anyone at all.
Those are clowns, not ringleaders.
Oh. Well, maybe we won't be the ringleader. Maybe we'll be an acrobat.
That seems more your speed.
We nod
Good
agreeably.
morning.
Good morning. Would you like the
So-
pastries?
As you guys are having this conversation, a white-haired, purple-eyed ASMR is behind the counter, just watching you all with... She looks vaguely amused at you all as you have a conversation about circuses and clowns and ringleaders.
With Tab in the room, I made a mention that Cure is more or less staring at them from the back.
Mm-hmm.
We notice, but are pretending we don't. 22 deception, pretending we don't.
Okay.
Let me check something. Not that Cure cares one way or the other.
Well,
I forgot this isn't Sword Coast Cure.
Slightly better at insight. And we've already given Macklin his coin purse back. Like, we tossed it to him as we walked
Yes.
inside, so.
Wunderbar.
We're just looking at the counter to see if, like, are there cases of things? Like, is there an interesting
Yeah.
case of things we could look at instead of at Cure?
Yes, there's definitely some interesting things to look at.
We look at the ending things.
I'll approach the counter and I'll make. What's your opinion of the circus?
I haven't been yet, I guess.
It's in Marquette. You'd have to go there. It would have to come here.
I've not been to Marquette.
Squint a little bit at it.
There are circuses on Wildmount. I just didn't exactly live the sort of life that would let me go to one. What can I do for you all?
Well, we're going into battle, and we need to purchase your strongest item.
All right.
Is there anything new?
Well, we do have new things and interesting things. I'm not sure how strong they are. I did pull aside some armor for you, Macklin, that I think you would like.
Oh, yes, I've been in the market for armor for some time. A shield or?
It's armor. Joanna wants to charge a pretty penny for you for it, but I think that. Well, I think it'll be worth it. And she puts down the armor that you had requested and asked me about, which I definitely have in my notes here somewhere.
All right. Macklin looks the armor over and.
Yes, the serpent scale armor.
Cool.
So she puts down this suit of armor that's made from like just shimmering snake scale.
He lifts it up and just sort of flexes it between his fingers, letting the little interlocking scales ripple across the surface. Oh,
It's very pretty.
It is. And more importantly, it's very light, flexible. So, how much does she want me to bleed?
500 gold, and I think you're getting a deal.
Ah,
If it's armor, shouldn't it stop you from bleeding?
metaphorically, bleeding the corpus dry.
I thought armor was more for someone who didn't want to bleed.
Would you like us to describe it to you, Jocelyn? It's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, if you would like to describe it, please.
We painstakingly describe the armor for Drazen.
Oh, that sounds like wonderful, wonderful armor tap.
Does Macklin look hesitant?
No, he's currently counting coins in a coin purse.
I'll cover it.
What?
What?
I have a lot of credit here.
Yes, but that's a lot of credit to put down, and it's your credit to spend. Are you certain?
I have more.
Right.
Very generous,
Well?
Cure.
If it's all the same to you, Almika, Cure would like to use her credit.
I'm
Is that-
invested in my companion staying alive. Still staring at Tab.
Well, that's even nicer of you, QR. Jeez. Really appreciate that.
We briefly glance over our shoulder and then return to staring at the armor and reach out and poke it a little bit.
It's very light. It moves very easily.
Well,
Remind me, is Macklin's overall look flashy, or is Macklin's overall look pretty subdued?
It's pretty subdued.
he's that lay low kind of cool.
You will stand out very much while wearing that.
Yes, I suppose I will, but
You could join the circus with us.
I could join the circus with you, and I could feel safe as I'm having knives and hatchets thrown at me.
Oh,
We
you
nodded
could be
quickly.
like that guy that puts the apple on his head while someone throws an axe at you.
It doesn't have a helmet.
Could you get a helmet? We look at the Almika. Is that her name?
Mm-hmm.
We look
She
over at her.
shrugs. I mean, I suppose you could. You could commission one.
What would I even do with a helmet? That's not from my head.
That seems like enough.
I'll consider it. Kyo, just how much credit do you have here?
I pause for a moment from my staring and do some mental calculation. Just shy of 1,000, I think.
Oh.
How much would a hat cost?
What sort of hat?
Like the armor, but jaunty. It's a nice feather.
Would need to find another.
Hold on. We fish in our bag and produce the owlbear feather and hold it out with that nice feather, so you don't have to find the feather. That one will do.
We would need to find another basilisk, and don't really have a Slayer's take. I mean, we have a Slayer's take at the moment, but not one that's exceptionally active.
We'll wait. We put the feather away.
Sounds good. I'll keep an eye out just in case if I come across such a thing.
Now, I hope you don't mind me interjecting here, but I'm looking for a particular item. Well, it's not really particular. I'm looking for items in general. For a spellcaster like myself that might either hold spells for me or it might already contain spells. I'm not opposed to any staffs that you have. Could use one to walk around. I am getting old.
Alright, so a staff or. Okay.
Or in general, any item. Like, you know, I'm not opposed to a ring of spell storing. Those are always good.
She moves to a rack on the wall, which has staffs kind of up against it. Let's see, we have a staff of thunder and lightning.
I'm more on the bright side. Brighter side of things. What does that one do in
Probably
particular?
not the staff of forgotten one. Staff of thunder and lightning?
Did you just say the staff of the forgotten one?
Mm-hmm.
What would that do? What does that one do? Does it make people forget about who you are?
Nothing that interesting.
Oh, okay.
The staff of the forgotten one. Oh my god, this site is not being. There we go. Sorry, the website that I use for magical items is like.
Loading flow.
It's not even loading slow, it's loading like all of the items stacked on top of each other so I can't scroll.
Hmm,
Ew.
Well, that's extremely irritating.
that is annoying.
Staff. Okay. So, Staff of the Forgotten One, you can't be blinded, charmed, deafened, frightened, petrified, or stunned. Undead. Weak undead will leave you alone. And you can curse things. However, it does have the life force of an undead archmage in it, so.
Which one?
Yeah, I don't know if I want to be talking to a lich myself.
Someone who pissed off a lich called a Sararak.
Do I have any idea who that is?
Roll a history check.
Probably not with that roll. Let's see. 10.
Nope. Sounds evil though. That's like an evil sounding name.
It really
That
is.
is a very imposing name.
Yeah, I don't think I'd enjoy having conversations with that kind of person. You got something on the fire side of thing?
Let me look. And she kind of starts looking at tags and kind of picking things out and then putting them back. No, not that. How do you feel about spiders?
That's spiders. Like, I can summon spider?
Um,
I'm not opposed
you
to
get
spider.
spider climb and web spell. So it looks like a spider, and she pulls out the staff, and you see the top looks like a spider that's kind of climbing over a small glowing stone of some description. Or you don't see that.
And Jazin goes, oh, if I only knew what that looked like. I kind of thinks to himself, he's like, well, I kind of have
It looks evil as hell for what it's worth.
probably not my cup of tea. I'm more on the joyful
I mean-
side.
I have a staff of fire.
Does it?
There's a snort in the background when Josen describes himself as joyful.
I heard that. Anyways. Yeah, so what would the staff of fire do? Can I just burn things? Like liches?
Well, you have a certain amount of charges per day, and you can use it to cast Burning Hands, Fireball, or, Wall of Fire.
That sounds
It's a
right
lot
up
of
my
fun.
alley, to be perfectly honest with you. I do enjoy burning the undead. How much does that staff cost?
You and our sovereign alike, apparently. This one I can let go for 200 gold.
That's gonna break me, but I think I will take it.
I'll cover it.
Well, thank you, Cure. You don't have to do that.
I'm rather set on magical items myself.
I don't know. I had set some things aside for you.
But if she doesn't want them, I'll look at them.
This is like the first time that Cure looks away from Tab. Really? Hold that thought, Josen.
Josen starts counting gold pieces.
Nothing powerful.
Cure does come over to see what Almika might have. Although she makes a signal while Josen is counting his coins to not take his cast just yet.
However, since I thought that Alina's birthday is coming up, you might be interested in a few of the items that I know she's interested in.
She has been yearning for a bag of holding.
I'm already getting her one. You can't get her one of those. She's earning her way up to it. There are very few items that I can bribe her with.
Slight smile at that. What else do you have set aside?
She kind of goes to a small chest and opens
That's
it
a
up.
steal. Chat, just letting you know.
And you see she
That
unlocks
is a
like
steal.
3 locks on
200 gold pieces.
it. Like it looks like this should be
We're
full
talking.
of like gems.
This is it's
She's like,
a very
all right,
rare.
I pulled
but
out
still.
this.
It's a steal.
And she pulls out a stuffed owl bear and sets it on the counter. It's a medium-sized stuffed owl bear that glows faintly.
Like medium creature sized, or
No, like like a medium stuffed animal size.
Oh, that's rather adorable.
Pick it up.
I pick it up.
Okay, you pick it up. It's warm.
That has become much more alarming.
It's just a spell.
It's not going to come alive, is it?
No, but there is one of those in here, not an owl bear.
I'm not sure if Alina needs that kind of encouragement. How much is this?
2 gold. I also
what?
have, and she pulls out a wand.
I'll cock my head and set the bear down and reach out for the wand.
Reach out, give it a wave. Bubbles just start forming and filling the room.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I'm sold.
Those are a couple of the things I put aside that are appropriate for you to give her. The more mischievous things are more of an aunt gift.
I'm sure I will be thanking you for those in no time.
I am sure your darling fiance will be very happy at the pseudo dragon that is joining her family.
I beg your pardon?
What was that?
What? Squint.
She just looks at you. Hold on, I gotta roll a charisma check. Just obviously a shit-eating grin, but does not care.
And how much is the bubble
Steal.
wand?
That was a steal.
About a
Crap.
gold. It did
Telling
not
you that
take
right
me
now.
that long to make it. And I enjoy the chaos she will cause with it.
Better this than half the other things she's desperate for. All right. Anything else interesting you might have?
Huh. I have. She just starts looking through her. She pulls out a book and starts looking through it. Raven Shadow, but that's for Talia.
Raven. What's Raven Shadow?
She pulls out or she blinks at you and pulls out a small unlabeled box, unlabeled as far as you can see, and shows you a necklace. It looks like a raven skull on a leather board.
Interesting. What does it do?
It lets you. Let's see, you can call upon a spectral raven, which I think she can already do, to be honest. But this one also will let her take the form of a raven, of a shadow raven, twice a day.
Huh. How much is that?
40 gold?
I nod slightly. I'll pay for it up front, so it can just be given to her.
All right. You see her make a mark in the book.
I don't suppose you sell a little card I could attach to it.
I can get one. She ducks under her under the table counter area and pulls out a ink, quill, a piece of parchment.
Okay. I'm going to use that to make a quick little note to go in the box with the necklace.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, we haven't been keeping a lot of weapons on hand.
Oh, I'm quite happy with the one I have. I don't suppose you have any enchanted shields, though. Although I did just get this one.
Not one I usually see your type carrying.
I shrug a little bit.
Looks good on you, though.
Thank you.
When you're back in town for more than a day, I can put a small enchantment on it, but...
In that case, I will hold on to the remainder of my credit and save up for that.
Alright. Tab. You look like you need something to cause chaos.
Do you have something in particular in mind?
She looks you over. You already have magic boots.
They're very good, thank you. Do you have magic arrows?
I do have magic arrows.
We're very good at stabbing things, but sometimes we can't reach them.
Alright. I mean, magic arrows are magic arrows.
You probably have good ones. More exciting ones. Do you have any that explode? Do you have firecrackers, but not arrows? This thought clearly, like, just this second occurred to Tab, and they are enchanted with it.
She just starts pulling down arrows. Now, unfortunately, I have very few arrows because someone, and she looks at Cure,
We do not.
has cleared me out.
I blink a little bit. Of arrows?
Not you.
Your fiance is an archer.
I'd assume she had people do that for her, but again, I'm not surprised.
We could go talk to Ilya. We don't mind. Does she have exploding arrows?
These are the arrows she puts on the counter.
Is there a...
It's in the Discord channel.
Oh, I have so many windows up and none of them with that.
Oh, I love them all.
Ooh. Does she explain what they all are?
Yes.
And how many are there of each?
One of each.
How much for all of them, please? And then we fish out our goggles of night. We could trade these. We don't need them anymore. I don't think we need them anymore. Let me double check that. Nope, we don't need them. We don't need them anymore.
30 gold. I'll give them to you for the goggles of night.
We push the goggles of night across the counter and gather up the arrows. This is better than we thought. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. If you do want exploding arrows, talk to Ilya. She'd be the one to talk to. They keep a very close guard over the gunpowder in the city.
We didn't know we wanted exploding arrows until just now, so we think These will keep us busy for the time being, but that's good to know for later.
Mm-hmm.
We are inspecting our arrows with great enthusiasm.
If Cure is going to be kind enough to pay for the staff, I wouldn't mind buying some potions. Do you know where I could get some of those?
We keep some. Most of our stash comes from Ava, of course, because Jonna can't brew to save her life. But
Do you have any? What kind of healing potions do you have? I'm just looking for the basics.
I've got 2 greater.
How much?
The greater, she opens up her book. 100 gold.
I'll take them both.
Okay.
Yeah, that is all just money right there. He had just enough for the staff, and then Cure was like, "Oh, I'll get that for you." I'm like, "Oh, then I can get the potions I was looking for."
Hell yeah. Oh, while we're still here, Almika, do you have anything that protects someone's mind from manipulation or invasion? We're dealing with a trickster, potentially.
Oh, that's quite an ask. She kind of looks at you, Macklin, taps her fingers on the counter. If you're looking for something permanent, that's well beyond our skills. If you're looking for something temporary, there are unfortunately illicit items that could possibly do something for a short period of time.
Ah, contraband.
Something like that.
Macklin nods and glances over his shoulder and leans in a little bit closer. Where we came from, someone had used a spell to rob people of their common sense, their mind, reduce them to drooling, muttering Neanderthals. I'm willing to live any kind of edge we can get. Do you happen to know where something like this could be obtained?
She looks to you, sighs heavily. Macklin, your clasp. You already know who the drug dealer is in town.
I pause and then squint. Right.
If you want to fuck around with your mind, she's the only person. I would not recommend such a thing, but she's the only person I would recommend if you were looking for such a thing.
Are there drawbacks?
There's always drawbacks.
Didn't realize you were addicted to drugs, Macklin. I just would have said something, then I could have helped.
I go to squint at Jaws and then realize the futility in that. Oh yes, you know me, always caught up on the hooch. Thank
I
you,
would
Almika.
ask her about Pixie's fire. That'd probably be what you need.
Pixie's fire. Thank you.
But I certainly wouldn't know such things or about such things, especially since my older sister is a paladin and my older brother is a cleric.
I
Would
glance
that
at
be
Cure.
why you'd know?
She's a paladin, not a narc.
I snort a little bit.
Meander on over to Cure and essentially leap up so that I can ring one arm around the back of her neck, just kind of, holding her buddy style while dangling from her. He's the cool cop, don't you know?
This is a very awkward position, Macklin.
I know, you should probably set me down. I don't want to kiss Mangle again, please.
I grunt and squat down to dislodge him.
Thank you. Well, is there anything anyone else needs?
I'm let go myself. I really appreciate your business.
V has just been having far too much fun poking around the store and being largely ignored. It's like, hey, they're distracting. I'm just gonna go look at everything now.
We've peeled off to follow V around the store.
Yeah, so you're following V around?
Yep, and Sunbeam is following us. Not like in his blinds the way we sometimes follow Cure. We're just like sort of curious about what he's finding. So we're just sort of just close enough to see what he's finding, but not close enough to intervene, or not
Sure.
interfere.
Roll me 3 D100s.
Us or V or both?
Both of you.
Ooh.
Okay.
See what you find just rummaging the shelves.
I'm just gonna roll in here because I'm lazy.
Yes. If I can manage to split here.
Me 3 D100s. Okay, so you find as you're roaming the aisles, a small container of what looks like honey. You find a petrified eye.
What kind of eye, or at least what does it look like?
It's set into a setting. It looks like a bird eye, maybe.
Okay. Bird-like.
And a pearly comb. V, you find a small water bottle with moons engraved onto it. A wand, which is like a silvery color. And a bottle in the shape of a realistic heart.
We think that V's things are much more interesting than ours. So after we spend a little bit of time sort of looking at the eye and kind of poking at it a little bit, and then we go over and look over V's shoulder at the water bottle with the moons. What's that?
Good question. Yes, I'm just going to ask Almika because why identify when I can ask?
Sure. Are you bringing it up to the front or?
Are they mostly done with their purchasing?
Seems like it.
Or bringing things up front and ask questions?
We're going to
Okay.
carry the heart bottle along as well,
Sure.
because we're also curious about that.
Okay. So you bring up the bottle that has the moons on it, and ask what it is. Almika looks at the tag on it, flips through a book and goes, "Ah, all right. It's an ebb bottle. It shows you when high tide is. You can tell how high the tide is based on where the water is in the bottle."
Hmm.
We shake it a little bit. How much is there in the bottle right now?
It looks like it's about halfway full.
What happens if you drink it?
I would assume it stops working.
That's disappointing.
It is.
We put the realistic heart bottle on the counter next to it.
Oh, this is creepy. I remember this one. And she doesn't even have to look in the book. Um, she opens up the bottle, which is empty, and she fills it with water from a water skin next to her. Closes it and hands it to you, Tab. And when she hands it to you, you can feel it beat in your hand.
We yelp and like start to drop it. Like we start to drop it and then realize that we don't own it and probably shouldn't drop it, so we try to catch it.
Oh, yeah, sure. Dexterity check.
13.
13? Yeah, you catch it. It's not graceful. It like falls out of your hand the first time and you have to like swoop in the second time to get it.
And we put it back on the counter hurriedly. Is it still water or is it even grosser than we think?
It's just that's what it does. The water's fine, and she pours it out on the counter. It's just normal water.
We sort of back away a couple steps, eyeing it suspiciously.
She uses prestidigitation and cleans the counter off.
Anything you'd recommend for me? I know you've got new interesting things coming through all the time.
I mean, I have something that's terribly ironic, which is, I mean, it's interesting, but it's not actually worth anything.
What, an earring of darkness?
Close. She pulls out like a you know like at the pawn shop when they pull out like the set of like miscellaneous jewelry. And she pulls out a bracelet with a sun embedded on it. And she says, "It's an Ahelian disc. You get a beautiful sun tattoo when you're attuned to it. And then when you're unattuned to it, the tattoo goes away."
All right. Did someone make this as like a practical joke, or
It's just a fashion item.
that? Do you control where the tattoo shows up?
Yes, you do.
I mean, if it comes up on your forehead, it was definitely a joke item. Also, you're likely to be struck on by God, but
Maybe.
We could do tattoos. We're practicing. We haven't been practicing, but we've been reading. We could practice. We still have your book.
B is
We've been taking
currently
very good
somewhat
care of it.
side-eyeing Tab.
She pulls out a bracelet that's in a similar fashion, but has a little cloud on it instead. This one makes a storm cloud float over your head.
He needs that. How much?
2 gold.
We slide 2 gold across the counter.
All right. You now have an Etherling bracelet.
Does that have a clasp, or is it like you have to pull it over your hand?
It has it's a pull over your hand type.
Hold up your hand.
What?
We hold up the bracelet.
He kind of like just drops his head and lifts his hand at the same time.
We are very, very careful to not touch V by accident while putting the bracelet over his hand, and are pleased.
All right.
In that case, they definitely need the sun ring.
How much?
It's also 2 gold.
We slide 2 gold across and hold up our hand.
Almika puts the bracelet on you.
Thank you very much.
Having a healing.
Is there now a small storm cloud over V's head?
Yes!
Did V need to attune for that, or is it just a thing?
Theoretically, you need to tune to it, but I'm not going to make you guys spend an attunement slot for this shit.
I'm
It's
so
too
glad.
funny.
He has his own personal storm cloud to go with his Kit Kat. Do the bracelets like go together at all? Are they both like dark gunmetal and actually?
They're
look
very.
cool?
I mean, they're more like the bracelets that you can get like stamped with like designs on them, like little silver bracelets. They definitely are a matching set. You guys are definitely wearing a matching set of bracelets.
We don't care or mind.
Like those best friend necklaces where they're broken down the middle, and
Exactly.
therefore we have a
It
storm
really
cloud of the
is.
sun.
So
One with
you
the
guys,
sun, one with the
the
storm
rest
cloud.
of you
I
are
love it
just
so much.
watching. So Tab, where is your sun tattoo?
I think like wrist, like just above the bracelet.
Okay. It's a little glittery, like sun tattoo. It's kind of shiny.
We're delighted. We show it Sunbeam.
Sunbeam licks it.
We're all still delighted.
The rest of you are just watching. So now, in the last couple minutes, Tab has gotten a tattoo, and V has his own personal storm cloud.
Jor just watches, her eyebrows a little furrowed.
But honestly, other than the normal things, that's kind of what we have at the moment. Nothing else super interesting, or nothing else that's going to be useful for you all.
It's quite alright, just thought I'd ask for here. Any interesting spell books of her?
Yes, but they have been purchased.
Of course. That's the
We-
problem with being out of town so much.
Have a deal now with the quill, so.
Ah, well, I suppose I'll have to stop by there the next time I make it back to town. Though I suppose it does make sense to have most of the books.
Are we
Well,
all ready?
I think that concludes our business. Halmika, thank you again for all that you do. This place is more well stocked than I've ever seen it. Even if it is a lot of knickknacks and things that we can't use, I'm sure they'll be useful for someone.
It's mostly good for farmers and things like that, but so we have more of these days.
I'm not really figuring out how they would be working with this gestures of heart model.
She shrugs. And creepy things.
I think by this time next year, you'll be giving the magic shops of Western a run for their money.
By this time next year, I will be somewhere else studying, and Jordana will have more entertaining things in here, I'm sure.
Hopefully by then she'll learn to brew a potion. By gods.
Probably not.
Probably not. Well, it's been swell.
Take care of yourselves.
Well, not dead yet. He kind of waves.
That's true. Congratulations.
We're not. Don't listen if anyone
Oh.
says otherwise. We're not.
Almika just looks at you like was not expecting that level of fervor.
Inside check. Does she believe that we're not dead? 30-20.
30-20. She mostly looks confused at your insistence that you are in fact not dead.
That's acceptable.
Inciting check tab.
Walking out the building.
Ooh, yeah, tab's pretty hard to read. 26 charisma hard to read.
Continuing to stare.
Fair. Backlund's just left.
Let sleeping dogs lie.
We will follow Macklin on a thing,
Okay.
tapping our fingers for our nonce dog.
I will head out after them.
All right. Where are you guys headed? Are you heading out to the Feywild or?
Are we ready to go?
Well, I've got to slip this armor on. It'll take me about 5, but I was hoping for a quiet place to change. I didn't quite plan on stripping in the middle of the store there.
Where on here is the cove?
The alcove is. Yeah.
Somewhere in the
Okay.
southwest.
Right next to
Why
the
are there two
clothing
things
shop.
pinging?
I would ping it, but I literally just unplugged my mouse.
Extremely fair. We could go back to the manor, and you could change, and we could get exploding arrows. Maybe.
Are you certain you want those exploding arrows? I mean, Ilya might be using them to kill important things.
It sounds like she has lots.
She might need them. She is fighting a war, after all.
So you would like to change in the street? All right.
I'm going to the manor. You're welcome to come along, but I'm just saying, maybe not piss Ilya off.
Why would she be pissed off if we asked her if we could have some arrows? She could always say
Her
no.
toys, Tab.
Then she'll say no.
Fair enough.
This is some
Tab is
classic
very
ask.
confused about this.
This is some classic ask versus guess culture here.
Yes, sure is.
Yes. So the alcove is here in the bottom left. You guys are heading
Over
back.
by the clothing shop.
So you guys are heading to the manor.
Yeah, make a quick stop.
Okay.
We're still over there, right?
Yeah, but you guys can head there fast enough. Who's
This
passive
cure's so
perception?
big.
I beg your
Matters.
pardon?
Screwy. Whose passive perception is over 14?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
What? How is that possible?
Wisdom isn't wisdom isn't my highest stat. Paladins are charisma casters.
But insight.
I'm proficient in insight.
Oh. You need proficiency in perception.
I've got like 5 other people for it. Why would I
Yeah.
need it?
This is my Sword Coast situation. It's like everyone but
I have people for that.
Look at you networking.
So as
Choice
you
learning.
head out, most of you, all but one of you, notice the small figure, flanked by 2 other smaller figures, kind of quickly.
Oh no, she has people too.
Ducking, like here, here, through here, down here, over here, through there.
Oh god, now I need to figure out how to do that.
Do we possibly do we pass near them?
Yeah, close enough.
are the
All right.
2 other figures. I assume I know who the central figure is. Are the 2 others familiar or
Not really.
okay?
One appears to be a half-elven girl. One is familiar as because you ran into them during during one of the snowball fight games, quote unquote, and is a younger girl, probably like 6 or 7, but human and even smaller than Alina.
Okay. Jacqueline, were you gonna do a thing?
Oh no, wrong kid.
Oh, okay.
But Alina is, yeah, definitely making her way carefully, interestingly, through alleys and around corners, and
Oh, she is around? I thought it was 3 different kids.
it's 3 kids.
Alina, a half elf, and a younger human girl.
Oh, derp. Okay. In that case, well, does she look like she's being stealthy? Does she think she's not been seen?
She looks like she is moving on a path that is meant to not be intercepted by a lot of people, but she's not being overly stealthy.
All right. I bring my fingers to my lips and let out a shrill whistle to get her attention. Then I'm gonna throw Mr. Fluffy Butt onto one of the short rooftops.
We'd like to, probably not fast enough to intercept whistle, but bat Macklin's hand away from his face. Don't give it away. Don't give her away is what we were trying to communicate there. We don't care if you give away Mr. Fluffy Butt.
Well, I could be whistling to anyone.
No, you couldn't.
I
You
didn't,
could,
I
but you
could.
weren't.
Well, of course I wasn't. I wouldn't be whistling if I was whistling to someone specifically.
Exactly.
So, with a grace of a skilled thief and not of a 7-year-old, you see her just shimmy up a drain pipe, and she's on the roofs.
All right. Hands in my pockets, I continue my walk with Tab probably still mid-slap.
Oh no, we having delivered the correction, we would like to stealth up the rooftop to where Alina is.
Sure.
I'm watching this from the back with an arched eyebrow.
Well,
So
we'll
you
see if
have-
you're watching it.
You weren't quite sure what the hell was going on. Macklin definitely let out a sharp whistle and threw something onto a roof. And then Tab climbed onto the roof and disappeared.
I can ask him about it later.
Okay. As Alina approaches you, Tab, gives you a grin as she retrieves Mr. Fluffy Butt.
Sorry he gave away your position. We told him not to do that.
Oh, it's okay. I was just... It's fine if you all see me.
All of us is too many. You should be sneaking. It's good to practice.
Yeah,
So it's easy when you have to.
my mother says that as well.
Do you know where she keeps the exploding arrows?
That's my mama. Yes?
Do you think she'll be mad if we ask for some?
No. It might take her a little bit to get some, but you could definitely ask.
That's what we thought. Thank you. And then we will slide back off the rooftop and follow the rest of the party.
Okay.
No longer stealthing.
No longer stealthing. Tab disappears onto a rooftop, reappears behind you all.
I imagine Sunbeam is eager to bound over to them.
Yes.
We pat his
Unfortunately,
ear.
Sunbeam does give away your stealthy position.
That's fine.
Okay. As you head back to the manor.
So it's gonna take you an hour, Macklin, right? You have to do.
No.
Oh,
It's
well.
not attunement.
Nope.
Well, I'll be ready in about an hour. And Jaws will go up to his room, and he's gonna go attune to the staff.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had
thought
one
you-
job.
We thought you all in a hurry.
Well, it's gonna take me at least an hour.
We're not mad, we're just confused.
And, well, I just bought this fancy staff, and of course I have to make sure that I can focus on its magic, so unfortunately that's gonna take me an hour.
Are you guys saying this like in the entryway of the manor?
Yeah.
You hear a tired voice kind of go, "He's a very old man, you can't rush him."
Right, exactly.
As Talia just moves by you all and heads towards the towards the parlor.
We would like to go into Ilya if she's here.
Sure.
Probably in search of Petra and to ask if Ilya's here.
Okay.
I watch Tab wander off, and then I turn to follow Talia.
I go get dressed.
You go get dressed in your room. Okay.
Yeah.
Tab, yeah, you find Petra easy enough. Jocelyn's also
Is it-
going to his room. Sorry.
Yes, he's going. No, you're fine. Yeah, he's going to his room. He's gonna attune to his staff.
Okay. Sorry, Tab.
Is Ilya here?
For a few more minutes. I think she's getting ready to leave.
We heard she has exploding arrows. Should we ask her? Or should we ask you?
Definitely her. Petra kind of motions for you to follow and
We
leads you to an office.
We went to the office.
Sure.
Hello.
Ilya blinks, looking up from. It looks like a map has been laid on her desk, and she blinks up at you. Oh, Tab. Hello.
Hello. We heard you have exploding arrows. Is that true?
Yes. They do. We do make them.
Would you be willing to give us some? Please? We might need to blow something up. We don't know what, but it occurred to us and we would like to try. Maybe. We don't know, but maybe.
All right. They take a little bit of work to get used to. I can give you a few, as long as you don't blame me if you blow yourself up using them.
We never
And-
would. The others might, but it's not our fault.
And please don't blow up my fiance.
We'll think about it.
And Talia reaches under her desk and removes 3 arrows.
We could give you 2 firecrackers in exchange.
Oh,
We
most
had 3, but we
assuredly.
gave one of them away. So we only have 2 now.
Crackers are the best.
We 2 firecrackers on the desk.
Mhm.
Next to, but like not like distinct, like a foot away from the arrow. So like you're not trying to cross the exploding things, even if none of them are active. And then we will also put the bouquet of forget-me-nots from the Feywild next to the firecrackers. We don't think that explodes, but you can have it too.
Thank you. And she puts the firecrackers in her pocket, and she puts one of the forget-me-nots in her behind her ear. And then she looks at the arrows. All right, so these are a bit heavy on the front end, so compensate for that when you're shooting. Bonus action to light them, shoot them, and then duck, as they will explode.
How far away should we shoot them? How far is too close?
I'd definitely keep it about 30 feet away.
We nod seriously, like visible effort to commit this to memory. And do we need to store them any special way?
Keep them dry, otherwise the powder will get wet and they'll be useless for you until they dry out.
We probably have some oils or something we can wrap them up in.
Mm-hmm. I found it to be very useful if you don't shoot it at the person you're trying to explode, but shoot it slightly behind them or like off to the side of them. You just catch them in the blast radius, that will be enough to get them.
So as long as you hit something, it doesn't have to be the person.
No. Yeah, it doesn't have to be the person.
We are delighted. Thank you very much.
Once again, not my fault if you blow yourself up. Please, for the love of all that is holy, do not blow up my fiance. please.
Just a little.
No.
All right. That was very
Thank
clear.
you.
Thank you. And we will pick up the arrows and back out of the office.
All right. And you head out of the office. Cure, you're following Talia?
Yep.
We all realize that there is going to be a point that Tab blows up Kior.
I mean,
I guess we'll see. We'll find out together.
there really probably will be, and the question is who's going to tell Ilya?
Well, Tab is not clear on whether Ilya thinks that whether Ilya means like don't actually blow her up irreversibly or just don't blow them up near Cure. But they decided that asking probably wasn't going to help their case for getting exploding arrows, so they opted to leave that question hanging.
Probably not a wrong move.
Like they're clear that Ilya probably doesn't want Cure like irreversibly blown up like that. That there's no question about that, but just like the whether a little proximity is a problem is.
Let's be honest. I mean, as many times as Jaws has essentially blown up Cure, I think he'll be fine.
Like we're not planning to shoot Cure with an exploding arrow if that's what anyone was concerned about. Just Cure is often in the mix of the things that might need to get shot. But we'll find out
Exactly.
together what happens.
Yep.
Blown up. That's what's gonna happen.
Okay, so Cure, you're following Talia.
Yep. Where was she heading?
She was heading into like the small kitchen parlor area that you guys had breakfast in. Breakfast room. She sits down. Breakfast is still spread out, and she kind of just looks at it and wrinkles her nose a little bit and leans back in the chair. Looks like she's still tired.
Okay. I'm going to head over to her. Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you feeling?
Still a little tired, but better.
I nod a little bit. That's good. Cure seems a little unsure of how to act beyond showing her concern, so she just kind of hovers there for a moment.
And look, my shadow's even reattached itself.
I was going to ask you that, but I wasn't sure when I should.
She points to the wall. Her shadow is definitely not synced up to her. It's definitely like looking around and occasionally trying to like escape.
That is incredibly unnerving.
Yes, it is.
What causes that?
How much do you know about what happened to me in the future? And she motions to her face.
I've heard a story in passing.
Right. So remember my stone analogy, where sometimes stones are worn down over time, and sometimes stones are split traumatically.
Cure's nodding slowly.
I'm definitely one of those traumatically split. We were using the amulet to get Shadowfell, and I was not transported correctly.
Now, out of character question, has she been without a shadow all this time?
No.
Okay. Cure's nodding slowly but frowning a little bit. It's been a while since that happened, though, hasn't it?
It has, but the more time I spend in the Shadowfell, the more. It affects me more than it affects other people, and faster.
Ah, I see.
When
Sure.
we were doing our old mission of mapping the Shadowfell, part of Seraphine's rituals to have when I came back was to shed some of those effects.
I see. So it was akin to reopening old wounds.
Very much so.
I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm glad that it's mending. I say as I look back over to the unsynced shadow.
Yeah, it's like pulling at its legs like it's stuck. She just kind of shrugs her shoulders. It's. Some of the effects are good and useful. Some of the effects are just disturbing. Some of the effects are actively harmful.
Why is it so animated? It is very alarmingly. Cure tries to search for the right word.
I
It
think
has.
it's
Go
been
ahead.
used to freedom for a little bit, so it's probably not used to being stuck to me like it is.
Is it sentient enough to even understand freedom? Are all shadows like that when they're unbound from a person?
When they're unbound, probably. This one's actually fairly friendly for a shadow.
Cure looks greatly disturbed. I think I just received an insight into a world I never wanted insight into.
Like I said, this one's very friendly for a shadow.
Cure is now looking at her own shadow uncertainly.
It takes a bit of time for them to gain sentience, though. A lot of time.
Huh. I'm not sure how to feel about this. So I'm just going to stop thinking about it.
Fair enough.
I'm glad that you are up and about. I'll move over to give her set my hand on her shoulder.
She smiles and gives you a hug back. Are you facing the wall?
Um, let me see if Cure can resist looking at the shadow. Oh god, what would this be? No, she looks at the shadow.
Yeah, you see her shadow is aggressively like gesturing at your shadow. Like just
Like it's trying to get it to like respond.
no, it's punching your shadow in the head.
Oh, now stop that, I say to the shadow. That's uncalled for.
Talia just looks at it. Look, you knew this was going to happen.
I really didn't.
Oh, I was talking to it.
Oh, it can hear us.
I mean, I don't know.
It does. Is the shadow responding to anything we're saying?
No.
Oh, this is just unnerving.
It will get more unnerving as it uses its freedom.
I shiver a little bit.
She's
Go ahead.
She claps you on the shoulder.
Well, we had been intending to set out, but it's going to be an hour for Josen to get used to his new staff.
That sounds about right. I feel like you always take a little bit longer than I anticipated to get set out. But it's been a long time.
No, that's incredibly correct. It's not one delay, it's the other. I glance towards the doorway.
Have you apologized to Tab yet?
Tab is quite intent on ignoring me.
That was a non sequitur.
I can't rightly apologize to someone who's insistent on ignoring me.
Yes, you can. You managed to apologize to Mama, and she ignored you for years.
That was more of a mutual effort. Besides, if I have to admit, I'm a little hurt myself.
Well, sit down. I will try to choke down some food before someone yells at me for not eating, and you can tell me about why you are hurt.
I'll take a seat since I know it's going to be a while.
You see her take a piece of bacon and, like, nibble at it, make a face.
I wonder if there's a spice packet or something we could request for you.
Probably not, but I think Ava will have something eventually. I'm surprised she isn't sending me 3 squares a day at this point, but she probably thinks I'm still asleep.
Kiora kind of taps her fingers on the table, kind of glancing off to the side. She's kind of visibly, like, brooding.
Mm-hmm. So Talia nudges you with her knee. She's like, I will eat that entire piece of toast if you tell me what's bothering you.
Well, that's not fair. You should be eating to regain your strength anyway. But it's kind of obvious that Kiora's not pushing a point.
And you should be sharing your feelings instead of bottling them up. So we're both going to do what we're supposed to do.
I snort a little bit at that. I'm not entirely sure I've sorted out how I feel in the first place.
You see her pick up a slice of toast and she thinks about the butter, then changes her mind, and then just bites a corner.
Just kind of side-eye her. I can't help but think that there's a certain level of She pauses, trying to think the right way to phrase it. I feel like my companions trust me to do one thing. And beyond that, I'm not sure how far that trust extends.
Ah, the we're only here to kill undead.
I nod slightly.
She nods, and you see understanding in her face as she takes another bite of the toast. Grimaces.
And given how adept I am at it, and admittedly how the imposing persona that I try to nurture more for my enemy's chagrin than for any other benefit, I can't rightly feel angry that that is how they think of me. But it still hurts when they seem to believe I'm capable of something terrible, particularly aimed at one of my own companions. That for as long and as hard as I fought to protect them, that I would turn on them so quickly.
She nods. Takes another bite of toast. She's definitely keeping up her end of the bargain.
That may be part of why I keep talking and watching her eat.
It's harder for you than it was for me. I had the benefit of, hell. I knew Yuri from the moment he was born, and I knew Grace from the beginning.
You
So
grew up with them.
they knew I was more than just a paladin with the Holy Avenger, here to slay undead. Um, but there were certainly times where that was called into question as to whether I could be Alina, their friend who broke into Mother's guest liquor cabinet at 14 and stole all of the courage.
I appreciate the warning. I'll be looking out for that.
I mean, I was trained to use lockpicks and stealth around. I honestly don't know what you all thought was going to happen. But unfortunately, she has a big sister now, and she kind of just makes a poor kid face.
Cure flashes a brief smile.
So, I think, and this is going to sound counterintuitive. I know it is going to sound counterintuitive. You will need some downtime, team bonding, or the like. Shenanigans.
In all honesty, that doesn't sound very counterintuitive to me. That sounds wise. It reminds me of the difference I felt with the Slayer's take compared to when I finally joined the Talons. There was certainly a different level of trust there. I kind of squint a little bit and kind of stare off into the distance. You know, I often forget just how long I've been fighting.
It's difficult when the fight doesn't stop, it just changes shape. Hopefully, my sense of taste comes back.
In the meantime, do you have anything planned for the next hour?
No,
Good. I was looking to brush up on my Zemnian.
happy to help.
I will
Um,
bring out the book.
as a warning, I've been warned I can be a bit of a taskmaster as a teacher.
I squint at her. And then I set the book down on the table and open it up.
Yeah, she scoots in next to you to begin to help you.
And I will occupy myself with that for the next hour.
Sure, you get 2 hours credit.
I'll factor that in, and then the hour we spent just. Actually, it would probably be 2 hours between breakfast and. Oh, so close.
How far away are you?
I'm at 19.5.
So you need like half an hour more.
Half an hour.
15 more minutes with Talia instructing you.
Yeah, we'll see how we'll see how this goes.
Okay. Backlund, you're putting on your armor. That takes about 5-10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
What else are you doing?
Gee, I don't know what there is to do. I guess I'll meander around the manor.
Sure. Well, I move you
I
guys
can-
over to the manor map. I haven't been moving you over, but I mean,
Wait, there's a bath?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a fucking soak.
Okay,
I
so
got
you're
an
gonna
hour?
put.
So you put on your new armor, then you
Oh,
get in the tub.
You know what? It only takes 5 minutes to put the armor on, so I'll get my armor off and like take a moment. I'm in a fucking mansion. I need a fucking bubble bath. There's servants, there's soap, there's hot water. I am having a bath.
So, which bath are you using?
There's more than one. These people are so rich. Um,
There's a couple of them, yeah.
there isn't like a clear men's room, ladies' room, right? I'm not gonna get.
No.
I see there are two baths next to each other.
There's one right here, and then there's one right.
Oh man. Oh, choice paralysis. Inca dinka buttle, Inca cork full out, and you are lopsided. I'm gonna take this one.
Okay. So you head into the bathroom. You notice that all the mirrors have been turned around to face the wall.
Oh, you poor thing. We'll fix this too.
And there is there's a large bathtub with arcane runes set into it,
Okay, cool.
and a shelf above the bathtub with just various bottles and ointments and tinctures and things like that.
Oh man, this is. I grab a soap at random. I grab an ointment or skin cream at random.
Mhm.
Actually, no. You know what? I have a little bit more class than that. I'll give them a preliminary whiff to see if they match.
Yeah.
I will poke at this bathtub a few times, like a confused and curious chimpanzee.
Sure. You poke one of the runes and it starts filling with warm water.
Oh.
And you see that as the runes are laid out from blue to very, very bright red. And the one you picked is probably mid bright red.
So piping hot.
This one is warm. You can move it all the way. You can move it up to piping, and then you can move it to like what you would assume is probably too hot for most humanoids.
Okay, I will aim for just below pain threshold hot.
Okay, so yeah, second to last probably.
Okay. Time to do my best Azer impression. Yeah, and I'm just gonna ease into that tub after stripping down.
So this tub is made to handle up to a large creature, or up to a large humanoid. So for you, this is like hot
Jacuzzi.
tub.
This is a hot tub.
Yeah.
I am going to enjoy some quiet time thinking while marinating in the clean water.
Mhm.
Gonna get pruny.
Oh, also, you notice that as the water gets dirty, it swirls around and refreshes itself.
Holy shit. Yeah. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna throw my clothes in the tub, give those a scrub.
Mm-hmm.
Use the
Yep.
wand to dry them off after.
Yeah, sure. So Macklin and his clothes are taking a bath.
And I'll do this for like a half hour, 45 minutes.
Yep.
Try not to fall asleep and drown in the tub.
V, what are you doing?
I'm going to go find.
I can barely hear you.
You're very quiet and muffled.
Oh, better?
Yes, much.
Unless I got out of alignment with the mic. I'm going to find a room with a fire going in it, if there is one. And
Yeah.
curl up in front of it with my cat and a book. So probably
Okay.
sticking to the first floor. Second if I need to.
I mean, there's a whole ass library here.
Okay, I'll go hide out in the library. It's an excellent plan. Is there a fireplace in the library?
Yes.
Great. Not like my party won't know where to find me. It's a library.
Okay. Fine. Whatever. Map. All right. V, what are you up to? Oh, sorry, Tab, what are you up to? You got your exploding arrows.
Got our exploding arrows, yeah. I think we're just walking the halls. Like we got the memo that it's going to be an hour, and that's like we're not upset or resenting that or anything, but we are at this point ready to move. So we're just sort of not pacing exactly, but like I'm just sort of eyeing where the stairs are. So sort of walking this way and upstairs, then this way and downstairs, and then back this way and upstairs again. So we're just sort of like not pacing in like a fretful way, but we're just sort of doing laps and yo-yo tricks with Sunbeam trotting after us.
Mhm.
And if like we see anything interesting, then we will stop and peek at it, but we're not looking for anything in particular. We're just sort of continuing to move until the group is ready.
Yeah, why don't you roll me just a perception check? Let's see if you pick up any interesting anything.
Well, that wasn't great. Oh, we're proficient in that today. So that's a 15.
15. You hear some rumors about people who you don't know the names of.
Ooh, anything juicy?
Mostly it's, I mean, would Tab find like so and so sleeping with so and so to be even exceptionally juicy?
Not particularly. Like that's just people
there
being people.
there is a rumor that Alina killed a hag. That's pretty funny.
Oh,
You're
yeah,
pretty
we
sure
definitely
it's
stopped and listened to
untrue.
that one.
Yeah,
But okay.
yeah, you're definitely sure it's untrue. That feels exaggerated.
I mean, so the problem is that we're Tab.
True.
We wouldn't necessarily find this exaggerated on the face of it. So let's find out if the people. So that's a dirty 20 insight. Do the people who are listening to think that's true or not?
One of them looks unconvinced because she's 7. One of them looks. The other one answers, she's a Tal'Dorei. So there seems to be some debate as to the veracity of this rumor.
That checks out. So we in our mind it is a open question that we will perhaps discuss when next time we see Alina, unless we've forgotten it by then, which is likely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jocelyn's attuning. V is reading. Macklin is soaking. So as you're studying with Talia, Iliad does come into the room and watch you both for a moment, kind of just leaning against the door.
Shortly after she came in, I would glance up at her and just say, "Welcome back in Zemnian." Then go back to studying.
You're getting good.
Almost there. Almost there.
And she will sit down at the table with you and join Talia in helping you study your last bit of Zemnian. Because also I'm tired of tracking these hours, so if you're that goddamn close.
Might as well just nudge it over the edge.
Yep. With 2 fully grown adults assisting you. 2 fully grown adults that speak Zemnian as their first language. Yeah. You guys can you all make short work of that book. And you are now fluent in Zemnian.
Oh, thank God. So that would put us at roughly 40 hours since the night in the woods.
Yep. Talia just shakes her head and says something in Elven to her mother, who snorts and responds in Elven as well.
Well, that's rude, I say in Celestial.
We have to figure out what language to plan your surprise birthday party in. Talia answers, also in Celestial.
I'd snort in disbelief. Surrounded by rogues everywhere I go.
I am a paladin. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I can attest that paladins don't know how to pick a lock. But I say that entirely good-naturedly.
She grins at you. And Ilya looks at Talia. She's gonna do... Oh my god. She's gonna look at her and go, alright. And is making a plate for her before Talia could even protest and putting it in front of her.
I snort a little bit and take joy in this.
Yeah, it's Talia's turn to look disgruntled. As Ilya says, I don't care if you cover everything in salt or whatever. You're eating something. You've lost about 15 pounds since I last saw you. As Talia just frowns deeply, takes a bite of food, grimaces. Fine. Alright. And that's you guys' hour. Jocelyn, you finish attuning to your staff.
It took all my concentration.
It did.
Every last bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
After I'm done, I'd go and find and round up the entire party and get them ready to go. Like, I walk in on Macklin, then I walk out. So here, and no, actually, Jocelyn walks in on Macklin, sits at the tub, knowing that he can't see him. So you about ready, Macklin?
Oh, thank God. I thought you were going to ask to get in. Yeah, just about.
Jocelyn grabs the towel and holds it out for him.
Oh, keep your arm right there, would you? Use his arm to get out without slipping and eating shit on the floor. You feel about 50 pounds of gnome dangle from your arm before he hops down. Followed by several squeaking sounds as a towel is rapidly swished against portions.
What? Macklin? Why do you squeak when you dry off?
What, you don't polish your ear?
No.
It's squeaky clean for a reason, Jocelyn.
But I've never... How does that even happen with a cloth and skin?
Oh, I've
Macklin,
forgotten. You humans are boring like that.
is your ass made out of metal?
No, but I do have buns of steel.
Well, that would be a metal then, Macklin.
It's a turn of phrase, Jocelyn. Roughly toweling my hair off with a brush.
Then Jocelyn would go to the library after Macklin finally gets himself prepared. to find
Won't take
V.
long.
Mm-hmm.
Then you would say to V, "Are you ready?" I'm gonna take it by your silence that you're ready, V.
Looks up from the book, pets the cat.
It's time to go, V.
Sighs. Puts the book away. Stands up.
And then he will perceive Cure's voice as she speaks fluent Zemnian and finds her that way and steps in. It's time to go, Cure.
In common or Zemnian?
I do not speak Zemnian.
I respond in Zemnian.
I don't appreciate you swearing at me, Cure, but I think it's time to go.
Oh, if I wanted to swear at you, I'd say it in common.
No, I don't know what you're saying. Cure, get up. Let's go. Look, he kind of... Dahlia. Ilya. Man, this stuff is just too much. And Jocelyn walks out.
You see, and they actually say in remarkable unison, "My Uncle Jocelyn."
That's creepy. And he walks out. And then
All right. Good.
Jocelyn's gonna say in the bracelet, "All right, Tab. 100% seriously this time. Time to go."
Do you promise we'll leave without you if we don't really go this time?
I absolutely promise that this time I'm being serious.
We come. You're still on this. So we come charging up the stairs. I mean, charging like Tab charging is pretty light-footed still. But we come zooming up the stairs next to you. We're here. We're ready. Let's go.
Roger, we've got a ferry to kill.
Why are
As
we...
I'm saying, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, as I'm packing up in the breakfast room after I hear Josen on the bracelet, he's 100% serious this time. We're actually leaving. And then I'll give my wife and daughter a hug and a kiss.
Talia smiles, and as she gives you a hug, she's going to whisper in your ear, "Party."
I make a non-committal grunt, but I give her a little squeeze in the hug.
And we say quietly to V, if we don't leave in 10 minutes, we would like the amulet, please. You can come too. Or you can stay and read, or you can come and read.
No, we're going to go this time, Tab.
We believe you. We're just coming up with alternatives.
There's no reason to come up with an alternative because we're
They're
going to
not
be leaving.
plans. That's something else. These are just ideas.
Well, don't get those kinds of ideas. Those are the wrong ideas to have.
You have 9 minutes left.
I have 9 minutes and 30 seconds, Tab.
Not anymore.
Well, not anymore. Now I have 9 minutes. Now I have 8 minutes and 45 seconds.
I'll walk in on this and lean against the wall, resume my staring at Tab.
Where are we gathering?
We stare back this time, because this is getting weird.
We're in the living room, Macklin.
Which one? There's so many rooms.
You have 7.5 minutes, Mac.
Right off the foyer, in between the foyer and the library.
Thank you, V.
As they're conversing and Macklin is navigating his way to the room, once Tab is like paying attention to me for longer than like 3 seconds, I'm sorry. And then I'll go back to ignoring them.
For what?
I don't answer.
Why are you ignoring Tab, Cure?
We look at V. For what? 6 minutes? Maybe 6.5. We lost count.
Insight check cure. You're gonna try to make me read Cure's mind.
Do I catch this?
Yeah, probably the tail end of it. Or at least the
Okay.
awkward
Holy
staring
cow.
at each other.
The awkward
Wow.
silence. Did I miss something? Are we? Are
No,
you
we're
so
getting
cool?
ready to leave.
Oh,
We're getting ready to leave. For some reason, Cure apologized to Tab. Now Tab's confused, and now Cure's ignoring Tab.
That's
oh.
correct. We have 5.5 minutes for someone to forget what's going on.
To
I'm
forget
not
what's
sure
going
how
on.
you got the impression I'm ignoring anyone, Josen.
Tab, ask her again.
Why are you wasting time? I thought we were leaving.
We are leaving, but we need to
It's
sort
5
We're
this
minutes.
out.
still here.
What are you sorry for?
We need to sort this out, Cure. You can't be ignoring Tab while we're in the middle of adventuring.
I mean, if all you've got is 5 seconds to share something that's on your heart, I mean, you
5
might not get
minutes.
that chance again.
5 minutes.
5
4
minutes.
minutes and 45 seconds now.
4 minutes and 30 seconds.
It's even less
Anyways,
time for a heart-to-heart.
I just arch my eyebrow and I'm just watching, like moving my gaze from one to the other and just quietly watching.
We're staring at your now. And we will put Sunbeam back in the necklace without stopping staring because it's dangerous in the Feywild if you're a dog.
True fact.
Alright, Veldrin is also going back in his bracelet because, we'd like it to live to adulthood.
Cure, is this about yesterday?
Are we having a party meeting now?
I mean,
Did
we've
you
got
want
4
to have it
minutes.
in the middle of, the next hell venture?
What happened yesterday? 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
I blink dumbly at Tab.
Right, are you ready to go now?
You're being
Joss-
very strange.
Jocelyn sighs and holds out his hand.
Do we have to hold your hands for this one? We don't mind. We're just confused. Which one? Well, about many things.
Yeah, we have. Yes, hold your hands and stand in a circle.
Do you want a hug or just hands?
Just. Why would I want hands?
The last one had us hug.
We take one of Jocelyn's hands and hold our other hand out to V. And then we'll very carefully, instead of taking his hand, we'll hook one finger under the bracelet and just hold on to that. Is this good enough?
No, you have to be making physical contact.
Sorry, we tried. And then we'll take V's hand.
Grab one of Jocelyn's thumbs.
Cure will take whichever hands are available. And regarding that insight check, Cure, while all the discussion while all the back and forth was going on, Cure looked somewhat disappointed and just eager to move on.
You hear that? We all disappointed, Cure.
We're still staring at Cure, to be clear.
After everybody makes contact, John's gonna cast Plane Shift.
I'm going to see. Oh, this is going to be hilarious, but I'm going to see if Cure can get away with pretending she doesn't notice.
No.
Yeah, no, this is the kind of charisma check she's not good at. Yep.
Oh yeah, it would not be mathematically possible for us to not notice.
And all is right with the world.
Okay. So as you all plane shift to the Feywild, we're gonna call it for tonight, and we will pick up next week In the
to-
Feywild for reals that time.
To be clear, we'll be picking back up with Tab continuing the interrogation
Oh, yeah.
Good.
But also in the Feywild.
in the Feywild, so that's probably fine.
So we're gonna leave our safe space to have a conversation that should be in a safe place to
Correct.
have it on a fucking battlefield. So
We tried. Hashtag we tried.
we're gonna have some like
Right.
Captain America style shield tossing and sharing while
You were the
You should've
one
noticed
that
with
said
the
that we only
feelings.
had 3 minutes.
That's correct.
smashing someone with a hammer. Yeah, but you're deflecting!
Absolutely no problem with continuing this conversation in the Feywild.
Snake attack for 45 damage. Well, you're
You're mean.
compartmentalizing.
Tab wouldn't use these big words.
And you're all projecting.
That's just
Justin's
very
yelling at
confused.
Justin's yelling at everyone to shut the fuck up and kill the monster.
But very pleased, we are very pleased to be going to the Feywild more than 10 minutes. We also had forgotten that even if we could get Fee to give us the amulet, we wouldn't be able to do anything with it for an hour.
Waiting for another goddamn hour.
All of it was a bluff.
I
guys.
mean, is it a bluff if Tab didn't remember that was a like
True.
it was a bluff, but Tab didn't mean to be bluffing. Like Tab was trying to be an ultimatum, just the logistics weren't going to work out for them.
Justin just thought Tab
It's not
got
the
some new
first time.
skill.
It's not the first time that Tab has taken an item or has been given an item and did not quite know how it works. So it's on brand.
Yeah, sure is. Oh.
Okay.
Who was
What?
that?